Okay guys, welcome back to the advanced layer networking session. Okay, so we are going to start, we're going to do a little bit more about HTTP and we're going to jump directly into the hands-on, not very hands-on. Just open your browser and do the inspect thing again. As in open the inspect console and let's go to YouTube. In the inspect, you'll have to do go to the network tab, and it might need to reload the website again if you loaded the website before that. And further in network, there'll be an option to filter by HTML, JS, and so on, right? Just click the CSS and fonts part in that.
Okay, you're able to see a number of HTTP requests, right? Can you just examine just look at those paths, look at the response code, look at the headers in the request, right? Just spend 2 minutes just going through some of these headers and trying to see, just see what's there. Right? Hopefully you're able to correlate this with the kind of hands-on we did yesterday. And if you see something that is like out of place, or if you see something
is this Chrome or it's Chrome, is it?
It's Chromium.
Chromium, okay. It looks a bit different from Firefox.
It's Firefox.
Okay. This is all of them. Just pick the CSS and fonts one. And fonts. Click fonts also. You'll get both of them. Just go through the. Just look at the right side. The request.
The browser is trying to make the request.
This or the even above. This is the the request itself, right? Just see that for all of them. So did you get a lot of at least 5 to 10 requests filtered when you did the CSS and fonts? And if you examine the request on the side, you should be able to see the get request itself. Is it visible from there? Okay. How many of you are able to see HTTP 2 in your request, in some of your requests? If you don't see it immediately, just try scrolling to the other request. Are you able to see a HTTP 2 in your, as a request that the browser made to your, to the server? Any HTTP 2 requests? Yeah, so I think a lot of you are able to see HTTP 2 and some of you even saw HTTP 3, right? So all that effort we've spent on learning about HTTP 1.1 and apparently we're learning about some very old version, seeing that things are much more advanced right now. Okay, so 1.1 was the old HTTP version. It was created, agreed upon and all that in 1997. HTTP 2 is a slightly newer version where it was originally called Speedy. Google came up with this protocol and then it saw that it improved performance really well and then it got sort of absorbed into this thing. It was proposed as HTTP 2 and it got released only in 2015. And by now most browsers and websites, like popular websites, are supporting that. And HTTP 3 came even later and apparently there's a little bit of half support, but as you can see, it's getting more and more, right? So let's just quickly see why was HTTP 2 proposed? Why was HTTP 1 or 1.1 not sufficient? So when you loaded a website, you saw a lot of requests were being sent, right? A lot of requests. YouTube has a lot of ads and then images and then icons and all that. And because of that, a lot of requests are being sent. For instance, there will be some JavaScript that is to load the scripting of the page. There will be some CSS for the styling and then there will be some images. There's all those thumbnails and all that. A lot of requests are being sent from the browser to the server. And only after the server gives all of this, the web page can be displayed. Which means all of this need to come to your browser in order for you to see the screen. And if it takes a lot of time, you'll be like, YouTube is too slow today, I can't do anything, right? Those sort of things. And the problem with HTTP 1.1 is that this is not multiplexed. This means, so you can see the, oh no, I started. You can see the thing here. So if you send a request, you will get a response and only after the response comes back, you can send the next request for the CSS page. get that response, and then send for the PNG and get that response, and so on. So in the next page, we have a GIF. The moment it starts, it will keep flowing. I can't stop it, so please pay attention to it. So you can see so for this, what HTTP does is that you can open multiple TCP connections in order to handle this. So you have one TCP connection to get the index.html. And now we are opening multiple TCP connections to get the different things. And this will come in parallel because there are multiple TCP connections. Right. So this multiple TCP connections is the way HTTP 1 solves this, and it is not the best or the most ideal solution because setting up multiple TCP connections requires a lot of connection overheads. So HTTP 2 wants to solve this problem. Again, I think the GIF will start immediately. So basically what it does is it allows multiplexing. Multiplexing, you must have heard it in different contexts as well. Multiplexing literally means that, it just means that if you have one connection, you can do multiple things in the same connection. And you can imagine how it's trying to solve this, right? We are saying that we'll have a single connection, TCP connection, and we should be able to do all of these requests and get the response in parallel in that single connection. So that is what HTTP 2 does, where we have a single TCP connection, and right now the index.html there's only one request, but when we see multiple requests, 2, 3, and 4, we can send all of them in parallel and get the response back in parallel, out of order, everything, and then this is HTTP 2's problem to fix it all and get it all back. And as you can see, it should be much faster because it's able to do this parallelization. And this is a simple image which just displays this example in like a nutshell, right? Get everything in one go instead of doing multiple requests in parallel. So that is HTTP 2. Okay, let's break and come back to the next session.
Yeah, let's come back in 5 minutes. Let's start.